Hey everybody, this is Josiah checking in with you from Toby K. I'm excited. We're going to do a tutorial here about making thumbhole cuffs. Thumbhole cuffs? Here at Toby K, we believe in empowering you. We want to see you, that's right, you become a better sewer. In which you probably are an awesome sewer, but just in case you didn't know how to do thumbhole cuffs, this is how you do it.
When you're sewing the thumbhole cuffs, you're going to want to start by folding the cuff in half so that the stretch is sideways and the grain line is up and down. And then 1/2 inch from the cut edge here, you're going to mark the measurements that you'll find in steps 60 and 61 of the tutorial. The ones I've done here are for the smaller sizes, sizes 28 through 34, and they'll be a little bit different for the larger sizes. The marks that you make here in the middle and on each end is where you're going to sew. So as you can see, I'm going to sew in the middle, and sew here, I'm going to sew here. And you want to back tack at each end so that the stitches stay secure. Alright, now I've sewn along these lines that I marked, and you can see the stitch lines there 1/2 inch from the side. The next step you want to do is to press the top seam allowance here over right along those stitches. I've already pressed it so it folds over nicely. That way you have the top seam allowance folded up and the bottom one stays out like that. Then you're going to fold the top down to meet the bottom. Inside there you just want to make sure that your seam allowances stay folded. It's not absolutely necessary to iron it, but definitely helps to keep everything out of your way. Now you can see my stitch lines here, ending here and here, and so your next step is going to be to sew along this seam allowance that is still folded out and still flat, right along the ridge of the seam allowance that's folded under. So I'm going to sew between these two stitch lines, meeting or going just past them, and sewing this opening completely closed, being careful to only stitch on this part, not on here. Now I've stitched along here on the seam allowance in that opening. Now you're going to take the top part of the fold and flip it over like that, and then fold that other seam allowance out so you'll have basically the same setup again. As you can see, you have this side now, this seam allowance folded out, the other one is folded under. You already stitched on the other side. Now you're going to do the exact same thing here, stitching between these two openings and going just past, only stitching on the seam allowance that's straight and not on this part that's folded under. Again, I've stitched there, and believe it or not, you're done. Now you just unfold it like a sock, bring it to the right side, flip it over, line up your raw edges here, and you'll have a thumbhole cuff with fully enclosed seams. Everything is sewn up, got stitching there, and you're done.